For those who know my teaching style, you know I like to add a little, Today is a special lesson. This lesson was actually inspired by a real true life story. Their new shoes from Louboutin. And your shoes are a 10, but I'm sorry, that pronunciation is not. Okay? Top 3 nasal vowels. Bougie Luxury French brands. Because people that can afford this stuff and can't pronounce it. Bon Vin Blanc. The nasal cavity. Yves Saint-Laurent. Hi everyone and welcome to Polyglot Paradise, the paradise for language tips and resources. Today is a special lesson on les voyelles nasales. What does this mean, les voyelles nasales? Well, you're gonna find out in a bit. But this isn't just any lesson. As you know, for those who know my teaching style, you know I like to add a little, spice into it. So I'm gonna try to make things interesting for you guys today. And we are gonna learn 3 things. The first is les voyelles nasales, how to pronounce the 3 most common French nasal sounds. 2, we're gonna learn the pronunciation and practice this pronunciation with bougie luxury French brands that I can't even afford, but we're gonna learn so anyways. Nous les fauchés, hein? Enfin, nous avons le pouvoir. The third thing that you're going to be learning is how to make fun of rich people that pronounce bougie brands wrong. Even though we're not millionaires here, at least we can pronounce these brands properly. Because people that can afford this stuff and can't pronounce it. This lesson was actually inspired by a real true life story that happened to me when someone was trying to flex their new shoes from Louboutin. And so this person said to me that they bought some Louboutin shoes, and they were basically trying to flex on me. And I was saying like, honey, your shoes are a 10, but I'm sorry, that pronunciation is not. Okay? But I'm sorry, that pronunciation though is not a 10. Right when you said Louboutin, all of a sudden, the aura of bougie that surrounds you disintegrated. Okay, so today we're gonna learn how to pronounce these brands properly. So here's a list of the brands that we're gonna be working with today. I want you to take some time to pronounce all of these by yourself. Before we continue on, so if you said Louis Vuitton, you're wrong. If you said Givenchy, you're wrong. If you said something like Yves Saint-Laurent, you're wrong. If you said Louboutin, like my friend, you're also wrong. If you said Longchamp, that's also wrong. So today we're gonna be looking at the correct pronunciation for all of these brands. So before we go on that, we're gonna learn the French nasal vowels. We're gonna learn the top 3 nasal vowels in French. Now, I like to remember this by the following 3 words in this order. Bon vin blanc. Bon vin blanc. Bon vin blanc. So I want you to say these 3 words. It means good white wine. We're gonna learn it in this order so it's easier for you to memorize. So these words contain the top 3 nasal vowels in French. So, on, un, en. Now I want you to say the 3 sounds, just the nasal vowel. So I don't want you to say the b and bon. You're just gonna say on. So if you say all 3 of them, it's gonna be on, un, en. On, un, en. And I want you to practice that just for a bit. On, un, en. On, un, en. So as you could see, if you're doing this properly, you are doing a nasal sound. Now, what does this mean, nasal sound? This means that you're using your nasal passages. If I have a picture of the nasal cavity, I'm gonna show right now the nasal passages that you're gonna try to use to make these sounds happen. So throughout the video, as I introduce these luxury bougie brands, I'm gonna be telling you which of the 3 nasal vowels that it belongs to. So the first one is this. Very popular brand. In English, we usually say Louis Vuitton. So what is the proper pronunciation in French? So in French, it goes like this. Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton. 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 So the last part is a nasal vowel and it's on. Where did we hear that from? So we got this from the word bon. So similar words that follow are pont, ton, bon, son. Basically a lot of the words that have on in it, on, they have this same sound. The next brand that we're going to be looking at is this one. And in French, it's pronounced Givenchy. So this is Givenchy, Givenchy, Givenchy. So this is coming from, remember, which of the three words does this come from? It comes from the same nasal vowel as blanc. Le bon vin blanc, Givenchy, Givenchy. Other words that you can use to practice this sound is the word grand, grand, which means big, or chanter, chanter, which means to sing. Or you could say quand, when, quand. The next one is Longchamp. So the next one is not Longchamp, okay? It's Longchamp, Longchamp. So the first one is a nasal vowel, and the second one is also a nasal vowel, and it's champ, champ, en. So the en, guess what? It's the same as blanc. As you can see, we're kind of repeating the nasal vowels. The next one is not Louboutin, it's Louboutin. Louboutin. So Louboutin. Louboutin. Of the three words we learned, this is like vin. Excellent. Un vin Louboutin. Vin Louboutin. So it has that nasal sound with it. So some words that use this are pain, bread, fin, ending, lapin, le lapin, the rabbit. So the last one we're going to be learning is YSL. In French, it's not Yves Saint-Laurent or Yves Saint-Laurent. It's actually Yves Saint-Laurent. Yves Saint-Laurent. That's how you say it in French. That's the actual pronunciation. So Yves Saint, Saint is like vin. See these nasal vowels come again? Laurent. So the en here is like blanc. These nasal vowels, they repeat again and again and again and again in the French language. The only problem is that in French, you'll already know. If you've been studying French, you know the spelling in French sometimes really doesn't make sense. It's confusing. The French spelling of words don't make sense a lot of the time. And a lot of learners, they get confused because when the words are spelled out, these nasal sounds don't always present themselves in the same way. Sometimes the same nasal sound can have different letters to it. And that's kind of one of the challenges with learning French. So one of the things I ask people to do sometimes is to be acquainted with the IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet. So the IPA is used by linguists, serious language learners. It's used by a lot of teachers, especially for French, and it's used by serious students, the ones that really, really want to get their pronunciation to 100%. And IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet, I really highly recommend teachers to use it as well because in French, spelling is just so messed up that it's very difficult for you as an educator to explain the various ways you can see a, o, a. These are three nasal sounds, but they can be represented in many different forms, right? They can take shape in many different ways. So what you're gonna do is, if you don't know how a word is pronounced, try to become acquainted with the IPA, and then afterwards, look in the dictionary. So even online dictionaries such as Word Reference, you'll see a little thing on the side and it'll have the word spelled out in the International Phonetic Alphabet. And if you're unsure of the nasal vowel that is used in certain words, all you gotta do is look it up in word reference and you can see exactly what nasal vowel is used. So for example, like the word entendre, some people, if they see this for the first time, for example, they don't know what is the nasal sound used here because sometimes they're not sure. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna search it up in word reference and it shows exactly in word reference how it is pronounced. So the IPA is not really used by a lot of French teachers, but it's really gonna help you make sure you have the confidence to say a proper word. But I hope after this video, you can reconsider the decision of integrating it. If you're a teacher, if you're integrating it part of your teaching style, and if you're a student, I really hope that you can become more acquainted with the IPA because it will help you as well with other languages if you want to be a polyglot as well. I hope this video was really interesting. These are the French nasal sounds. I'll probably make a new video in the future talking about nasal sounds in different languages, such as Portuguese or other languages that use it, because it's not just French that uses it, right? If you guys have any other video suggestions, please leave a comment in the comment section. If you have enjoyed and found this video useful, please consider subscribing, liking this video, and supporting my channel so that I can make more interesting and useful language resources for you. Okay? I hope you have an amazing day and enjoy the learning process.